Hey guys, Shrapnel here. Gonna do a real quick video and a bit of a rant about this. And mainly just that whole name right there. Alright, let's get into it. So this is the Gerber Suspension NXT. This is the next generation of their original suspension. There's definitely some design improvements, but that's where the problem comes in. Gerber, in my opinion, has statistically, and just without fail, always dropped the ball. Grab a couple others. Meeny, miny, that'll work. That. And sure, why not? I think you'll work too. Alright, let's get started. So, the reason why I think they dropped the ball is because a lot of the design choices they took on this tool completely, just really hurt its functionality. So let's get underway. Let's start with the one-handed accessible knife blade. Pretty cool shape. Not sure what the deal is with that little marking on top of the notch. Is what it is. Partially serrated. I would have preferred to see plain edge all the way down, but honestly I don't think it really matters on this because of how thick and shallow this blade is. Yeah, it's decently sharp, but it doesn't cut very well because it's so fat behind the edge. So that hurts its performance quite a bit. Let's go over a couple of the other tools. Can opener, bottle opener, flathead driver. Not much to be said about that. It's just one of those run-of-the-mill tools. Let's see what we got here. Yes, this. The flat blade driver with the wire cutter. Works well enough. Don't really have too many complaints. And then I think we have the scissors. Alright, so the scissors, they're kind of short, but they work pretty well. I'll do a quick comparison. This is just one of my backups. Wrong blade. There we go. Compared to the scissors on a Swiss tool Spirit, they're about the same length, but the Gerber definitely has them beat in terms of being able to open significantly larger. That's about the only thing it has that can beat some of the bigger brands. Is Gerber scissors are usually okay. The pocket clip, it's in a pretty good spot. You pull it out, knife blade's right there, so that's a pretty good thought. Okay, what we got? The awl/reamer. It's too wide. I think it's too wide. Or at the very least, doesn't taper enough. It'd be much more effective if it was a little thinner. That's just my 2 cents on that tool. Take it for what you will. Gotta take it off camera for this one, so I can fish it out. Okay. We have a depth gauge. Works pretty well. File. Texture's good. The size is kinda. Honestly, in this size of file, I mean, what does this say? What do we got? About 1.5 inches, and the file takes up probably only 1 inch. That is way too small to be of any real use. And it's on the wrong damn side. Why would you put the file here? If you're trying to file something, that's in the way. If it was over here, it'd be far more effective. Then you have like some kind of chisel end on the end. That's fine. Now for the tool that bothers me the most on this. The Phillips Screwdriver. So, before we bring that out, I want to show you something. This is my Swiss Tool Spirit. As you can see, actually I'm going to close that real quick. So as you can see, we have handles that flare out. Same goes for the Swiss tool. We'll do it like that, make it fair. As you see, they both flare to one side. A scratch. Yes, it is. Interesting. Did not see that. Only see that on camera. Anyways, so they both flare out. That's fine and all. Let's take out the Phillips screwdriver. As you can see, this screwdriver tilts back, so it's trying to be centered. It's still going to be off center no matter what they do, unless it's like with the center drive where it's actually significantly bent back in order to be in line as much as possible. Watch what happens when I do that with the Gerber. Why is it going that way? Why? That makes this very awkward to use, because in order to keep these straight onto the screw, the whole tool, you have this big bulky part of the tool just flopping around. I mean, yes, you can do this, but honestly, I hate doing this. It just makes it even more awkward. See? It's just not a good design for the screwdriver. Let's see if I can close it. Pliers, they are spring-loaded. I can take or leave the spring-loaded. I'm used to not having spring-loaded, so it's kind of just weird. Ergonomics of the pliers, they're okay. There is a bit of a hot spot created by whatever we got going on with this plastic. And then, you know, also these edges here are a little sharp. And another thing about using the screwdriver or the knife blade is ergonomically, this is atrocious. There are hot spots all over the place because look at all these pointy edges with these recessed handles. Your hand finds all the uncomfortable spots to hold. And honestly, it's just kind of a fail. I think the original suspension was a superior in overall design characteristics. This definitely had a little more thought put into it, but looks definitely won out over function, unfortunately. Now, for the Rant, let's get you out of the way. Now, I truly believe Gerber, they have some great ideas. They really do. But they always drop the ball. So that's the suspension. Really cool looking multi-tool, a lot of very nice features, but poorly executed. The Gerber flat iron. Decent pocket clip. Good action. Needs a little oil, but good action, good liner. Beautiful color, too. $45 is what I paid for this. Why on God's green earth? Oh, they don't even have the gall to put what's on here. This is 7CR17 for $40. Are you kidding me, Gerber? What is wrong with you? Get with it. $25. Similar materials. Aluminum with rubber inlays. D10. Fancy pocket clip. So we're seeing a lot of similar things. Wacky blade shape. 8CR14 MOV. What is your excuse, Gerber? This is $25 and it came in a really nice waterproof box that you can reuse for other things. $25, maybe $30 now. $45 at the time I paid for this, and I think it still goes for about $40. Yes, they have a D2 option, with my car to scales, which I think is a little bit more. But I really like this handle. But I can't change it out because they Loctited the ever-living crap out of it. And I can't get it apart no matter how hard I try. And because it's a Gerber, I think it's this one. Come on. Oh, you can see some of the damage that I've done when I tried to unscrew it. So yeah, just a failure. I also had the Gerber Asada, which is very similar. Same thing. Horrible steel, ruined the whole thing for me. I can't do it on camera. These Gerber flick style pliers. Really cool concept. These are very old. Found them in my grandfather's workbench drawer. The problem I have with all of these is this. The pliers are going to be significantly weaker because a slide, in my opinion, is going to be weaker than a pivot. Because we're dealing with spring tension. So if you're pinching down and you accidentally hit those buttons, your pliers are going to slip in. Because of that play, they don't hold. And I've seen that the Gerber center drive, when you're trying to cut wire, will twist. And I've also seen that the carbide cutters that Gerber uses, garbage. They crack, they're brittle. And what I do is I will be cutting steel braided steel cable. It's not super thick. Trying to see if I have a piece of it here. I don't think I do. Well, anyways, it's about maybe an eighth of an inch thick braided steel cable, so it's little tiny strands of steel cable braided together. I cut that on a fairly regular basis. These, no problem. I had the center drive. I used the cutters to do that. They broke on the first one. I sent it back to Gerber and told them I didn't want it back. Give me my money. I'm tired of it. I hate it. I really want to like Gerber. They have some really cool designs. I have a lot of nostalgia attached to like stuff like this MP. I think this is, I don't know. I don't know what this is called. There's an MP600 blunt nose that I have some nostalgia that belongs to my mother. She's also got a Gerber Easy Out Jr. That, again, nostalgia. And the Gator, like the bigger folding Hunter, designed to kind of compete with the Buck 110. I have nostalgia attached to that. But all of those, it's the same thing. They let me down. Which is kind of frustrating. Honestly, I refuse to buy Gerber products at this point just because of that. I'm tired of wasting my money on something that, yeah, it looks great in the package. It's a cool concept. But when I get it out, it's either the quality is atrocious, the materials suck, or the design is significantly flawed. That's my piece on the whole thing. Thanks for watching.